working in a lab, and finding your place in the lab, what you're good at, what your strengths are. I learned all of that with him, and then it became very useful in college. So when I got to college, while the other kids were this was their first time being exposed to heavy science, and I already knew this stuff, so it just gave me a good heads up. And then we got a chance to travel to places that, as a typical Prince Georgian, I would have never probably traveled to on my own. I remember when we went to Eastern Shore, so I definitely recognize all you guys, and hung out there for a day. We went to Orange County, Virginia. We went out to this place near Hagerstown. I can't remember the name of it now, but Keithville, yeah, we went up there. Like all these places that I was just a typical kid from here. I would have never seen if it hadn't been for him. And then Dr. Devine, when I went to college at Penn State, he called me every time he was coming to State College, and we would have lunch at the Nittany Lion Inn or dinner, depending on what time they were up there. And then I also lived in California for a year. He kept up with me out there, so he's just really been awesome. So I know that, congratulations on retiring, but I know that our relationship doesn't end here. We'll probably be in contact for the rest of his and my life. So thank you so much, and I really just appreciate having known you and everything.
This is a really wonderful. Dr. Bouchon.
This was a surprise to me that Tom was having this gathering today, because about 2 weeks ago he called me and he said he was going to retire. And I said, well, what date? He said, April 1st. I said, that's April Fool's Day. And I said, you're not really retiring, are you, Tom? He said, yes, I am. So I put it in my calendar, April 1st, he was going to have this party. And so I got to the lab today, and Charlie Murphy called me and said, will you come to Tom's retirement party today? I said, no, it's next week. No, it's today. So I was totally confused and unprepared, as I sometimes can be. Let me tell you a little bit about Tom. Before he became involved with soybeans, he worked on the queen of the forages, alfalfa. And as some of you know, that he worked and developed ARC alfalfa, which is one of the first anthracnose resistance. Tom, oh yes. So, and I remember once when I first came here 27 years ago, I took the tour that they had at the visitor center, and they say, ARC, well, that stands for the Agriculture Research Center. And no, that when Tom set me straight on that was anthracnose resistance composite. Everybody's going to remember that one. But I guess just to make things brief is that I've known Tom for a number of years, and I could always count around the month of March finding Tom someplace around the 17th, I believe, St. Patrick's Day. So he had to always walk around and wish everybody happy St. Patrick's Day. So I want to know from you, Tom, who's going to take over this auspicious, which Irishmen are you passing all of your luck to, so we can continue to carry this on here at Beltsville? So congratulations, Tom, on your retirement, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Great, John Kelly. John Kelly is a wonderful young man. This young man went to Eleanor Roosevelt High School, and he worked with us in the summer. And you remember that, Jim. And he did a grand job. And then came the end of the summer, and he said, well, can I continue on working in the fall? Well, we never had a high school student work before in the fall. And I said, well, how are we going to do that? He said, I'll come in at 6:30 in the morning, and then I'll work till 8:30. 6:30, 7:30. And then he'll get on his bicycle and ride on home and get the bus and go to Eleanor Roosevelt. And he did that. So, of course, we had to come in early. But and then, he graduated from Eleanor Roosevelt, the Science School in Prince George's County, in the row of distinction, high academic honors. And he was on the wrestling team and did that very well. And then he became an Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts. And this kid could work. Man, could this kid work. It was just fantastic, the amount of work that John could get. Dr. Kirkendall was here before. He has a brother, Joe, who has the same capacity to work. Dr. Kirkendall said, just to stand there in the greenhouse and observe this kid working was just a fantastic. So, electrical engineering at the University of Maryland, he did all of that. And then Jim, he went to work with Kim in the engineering group here at Beltsville, and graduated, and now works for the Department of the Navy, doing secret stuff that only he and Admiral Collins could probably discuss without, national security being involved. So, John, we climbed Old Rag Mountain together too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, like Dr. Devine said, I started here as a high school student, and I worked at the USDA for 6 years, 5 of them with Dr. Devine, and it was a really enjoyable time. It was hard work, but it was a lot of fun, and working out in the field in the summer, it was hot, but we had umbrellas when we were doing the hybridizing, so it was kind of like being at the beach. A little bit different. But I really enjoyed my time, and Dr. Devine was a good mentor. He instilled a good work ethic in all of his employees, and he was a very kind and understanding mentor, and he helped a lot of students that came through and worked for him. He always encouraged independent thought and people to work on the things that they were good at, and he would help them with that. And I'm really appreciative of the start he gave me and how he helped me work my way through college. And he definitely made things a lot easier for me, and appreciate his mentorship and his friendship. And wish you all the best in retirement.
What was that car again? It was a Mustang. And the lavish attention that he put into that.
65.
The other kids refer to it as a sweet car. And then he had a lot of wonderful memories. John had this remarkable agility that was almost unbelievable. We had electrical fences to keep the deer out of the field. It worked for a while, but not eventually break down. But to get into the field, of course, you had to get over the electric fence. And so what John would do is he'd take a hoe, and I think you might have seen this, he'd take a run at the fence, and he'd poke a hole in the ground and then flip himself up and land over on the other side. And Dr. Jim, do you want to have a word?
Sure.
Well, we have John Kelly.
Well, I forget what year it was that you came to the Weed Science Lab. It's a year after the breakup of one lab, and you came over to the Weed Science Lab. And you had a new mission at that time. You were going to leave the tall soybeans and start working on winter cover crops. Well, Tom was given some time to move out of the tall soybeans, finish up that work, and in the meantime start this work. And Tom, what is it? Nationality? Swedish? No. Irish. He would, after a few years of this, still working on this, and some of my supervisors would ask me, what is Tom still doing? Working on tall soybeans. And it turns out that soybeans grow best in the heat of the summer. And this type of thing works best late fall, winter, early spring. So I had to explain to these folks that, he's got all this time during the summer, so he should be able to continue working on this. And so you were able to extend that a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah. And another thing we heard a lot about, when he came to the Weed Science Lab, you heard a lot about a lot of hoeing. And I think Ben Kaufman. Ben's still here? No. Oh, okay, but John Teasdale is also a member of the Weed Science Lab, and I think we got you to come into the new age a little bit of herbicides. So I don't know, John, if you had to do all that hoeing, or you probably had to do some, but not as much as these people that preceded you. But Tom, it was a delight having you. Everybody has mentioned here what a nice person he is, and a gentleman. And you could sit and talk with Tom, and you'd always get this lecture on some ethnic background. But I let that go a little bit. But I learned a lot. but one thing, Tom, that I've got for you, you know, when you retire here at Beltsville, you get to join a certain organization. I mean, even as a member of Beltsville, you can become a member, but now you become, instead of an associate member, you can become a full member. This is of the Friends of Agricultural Research at Beltsville. This is made up primarily of retirees. And if you were here at the beginning, Dr. Spence mentioned Farby. And as a secretary of this organization, I'm going to give you an application form to join. And I look forward to having you stay with us around Beltsville and become a member of this. And Farby is one of these organizations that helps the area office. And during the last few years, we were able to use some of our funds to send scientists to scientific meetings. We bought some equipment and do a lot of other things. Have a big outreach program in the local school. At Beltsville Elementary, we have a science enrichment program that is all funded through Farby. So, Tom, I tell you, it's a great life. And I can help you with your time. All kinds of things like that.
I'd like to say a few words. This is Carl Norris, a very distinguished scientist and engineer here at Beltsville.
Very few words. I got acquainted with Tom, not through science, but through Boy Scouts. I was the institutional representative for a Boy Scout troop, and Tom was the leader. So my association with Tom is through Boy Scout. Although I worked at the Research Center for 38 years, I never had the opportunity of working with Tom on any real problems in agriculture. But congratulations, Tom.
Thank you very much.